Where do you think you'd be without the benefit of that kind of hard knock experience that you had with that deal?
Right. I've thought about that. There's no telling. I always said that was God, pulling me back in and saying, hey, you have the potential to do this, but it's going to be on our terms,
Man.
He's not going to give you anything that you can't handle, but he's not going to give you anything, that you're not ready for either.
That's right. And what's that saying that comes to mind right now for me is smooth seas never made a skilled sailor.
Right.
And dude, it's interesting, man, because at 2 years, and I don't even know if you know this, but 2 years into my journey, I kind of got out of the gate end of 2005, beginning of 2006, wholesaling. In the first year and a half, I was just rocking with wholesaling. And then I decided to jump into my first fix and flip on a $500,000 property in 2007, the middle of 2007. So just based on that year, you can kind of imagine what happened. But long story short, we didn't account for the market shifting. Our margins began to shrink. We went completely over timeline, over budget, and we ended up losing $101,000 or $102,000 between myself and my partner. So I lost $50,000 on that deal, which is a little shy of what you ended up losing. But I've always said, for me, that was probably my best deal.
Right.
Steve Cavanaugh, your coach and a mutual friend of ours, asked a year and a half ago, he went around the room at Ascend and he's like, hey, explain your best deal. Describe your best deal. I don't think you were in Ascend at that point. And I said, dude, my best deal, I lost $51,000. And everybody looked at me like I had 6 heads. And then I elaborated. And that was the deal that made me shift and look at masterminds, coaching, mentors as investments, not as expenses. I knew if I would have had somebody in my corner, I would have never gotten involved in that deal. But to this day, that's probably been my best deal because of the mindset shift and because how it forced me to look at things and change moving forward. Yeah,
the mindset was the biggest shift, right? And then, like I said, I met you and Steve, I think at a mutual event that we were at, and that's when I first kind of came in. I think I was right on the tail end of that. I was still in it at the time, and I was like, guys, what in the world do I need to do? And just being in that being in that group of people that have already been there, right? Because I felt lonely, man. There were nights that I was outside of that house in my truck, outside of my house, before I even walked in to see my family. I was out there crying, because I was like, I've lost it all, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was very emotional, but it was a very huge shift in my mindset because, there were some guys that were in that group. They were like 60,000s. That's all you lost. Come on, you're going to lose a lot more than that. Right. And I have that, but, and it doesn't hurt after a long time. It still hurts. Don't get me wrong. But you start to have that mindset of, hey, it's going to happen and I'm going to make it happen regardless of the wins and the losses, right?
That's right, man. Yeah, dude. And you deserve all the credit for getting out of that hole, right? Like we take zero credit in that, but there is something to be said for just immersing yourself around a group of people that are going to love on you, dude. They're going to walk alongside you, that are going to encourage you. And just that right there, what you shared right there, where somebody, I'm not sure who it is, but I think I have an idea, when they said, wait, 60,000 is all you lost. Like, think about that. You were probably in a world of hurt right there. 60,000 could have been 6 million to you or 600,000, right? But to somebody else, 60 was like, well, dude, that's nothing, 60. And just that comment alone, some people might take that as an insult, but myself, I'd take that as, man, what a paradigm shift that this 60 grand that I'm worried about is like nothing to somebody else who I'm masterminding with. Right. And just so just again, it's taking things and applying them as a for you, not a to you, and allowing that to propel you moving forward, I think is valuable. And dude, I'm proud of you, man, because you got out of that hole and it shaped you into the man that you are today. Again, now you're a father. You're just, so much has changed in your life, not just business, but personal.